is my favourite story, I think, in showbiz this year. The Justin Baldoni war with Blake Lively, which seems to me, initially I felt quite sorry for Blake Lively.
Wait, Blake Lively caught with Jennifer Garner's husband? And there's footage? Oh, this just got wild. The internet's losing its mind, rumors are flying, theories are spinning, and honestly, some of this looks bad. Blake's happily married, Ben's got a history. So how did these two end up in the same scandal? Is this just another case of the internet running wild? Or is there something bigger happening behind the scenes? Stick around, because once you see what's out there, you won't know what to believe. All right, let's break this down. Because at first glance, this entire situation makes zero sense. We're talking about Blake Lively, Hollywood's golden girl, a fan favorite, a woman who has built a reputation of class, charm, and let's be honest, an envy-worthy marriage to none other than Ryan Reynolds. These two aren't just any celebrity couple, they're the celebrity couple. The internet worships them, they troll each other in the most adorable ways, and honestly, they're probably the last people you'd expect to be anywhere near a scandal like this. And then there's Ben Affleck. An A-lister? Absolutely. But let's just say his relationship history isn't as picture-perfect. We've seen him go through high-profile breakups, messy divorces, and headlines that don't always paint the prettiest picture. He was married to Jennifer Garner, America's sweetheart, an actress loved for her kindness just as much as her talent. But things didn't work out. Then came the infamous rekindling with Jennifer Lopez. And if you've been paying attention, you'd know that even that seems to be on the rocks these days. So the big question is, how did Blake Lively and Ben Affleck end up in the same conversation? Now let's be clear. These two aren't exactly known for being close. They haven't worked on any major projects together. No past flings, no history of hanging out at Hollywood parties. In fact, there's barely any record of them being in the same room outside of industry events, which makes this footage even more bizarre. Because let's be real, Hollywood scandals usually have some kind of backstory, some tension, some history, something that makes it make sense. But this feels like it came out of nowhere. And that's exactly why people are scrambling to figure out what's really going on. So, is this a wild misunderstanding? A misleading clip taken out of context? Or is there something deeper happening behind the scenes? Let's get into it. Alright, so now let's get into the real reason why this story blew up. The footage. This clip surfaced just a few days ago, and the internet went absolutely wild. It wasn't some grainy paparazzi photo or a blurry background sighting. It was an actual video.
Then I've been reading all the messages between them all, and which he's been putting out, obviously, and it just seems like a pair of absolute weapons-grade narcissists.
A few seconds long, but just enough to set social media on fire. So where did this even come from? Reports suggest the footage was taken at an upscale, dimly lit lounge, somewhere in LA, the kind of place where A-listers go to escape the public eye, a spot known for hosting exclusive, invite-only gatherings. And here's where things get interesting. The clip wasn't posted by TMZ or some big news outlet. It first appeared on a random social media account, one that didn't even have a big following. The kind of account that normally wouldn't get much attention, until it suddenly did. Because within hours, this video was being reshared everywhere: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. And once celebrity gossip pages picked it up, there was no stopping it. Now let's break down exactly what's in this footage. It shows a man and a woman sitting in a booth together close. The lighting is low, moody, almost too dark to make out details, but the way they're interacting, people couldn't ignore it. Blake Lively, or at least a woman who looks a lot like her, is seen leaning in, deep in conversation with a man who strongly resembles Ben Affleck. And when I say leaning in, I mean real close. At one point, she touches his arm. Now, let's pause here. Does that mean anything? People touch arms all the time? But in a setting like this, with two celebrities who aren't usually seen together, you can see why people started talking. And here's where it gets even crazier. Right before the clip cuts off, the man, Ben, supposedly leans in slightly. It's hard to tell what happens next because the footage ends right there. No context, no full picture, just enough to send the internet spiraling. And spiral it did. Some people instantly called it out as misleading. They argued that it could be old footage, that maybe it wasn't even Ben at all. Others pointed out that camera angles and lighting can make things look different than they really are. But then, of course, there were those who weren't so sure. Because let's be real, Hollywood has given us crazier scandals. And with how fast this spread, people started wondering, was this footage buried for a reason? So was this really Blake and Ben? Or are we looking at the biggest case of mistaken identity the internet has ever seen? Let's get into the theories. All right.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
I don't think people realize how involved she was in this movie. And she's a producer on the film from the beginning to the end.
Let's cut through the noise and get to what everyone wants to know. Was this footage real? Or is this just another case of the internet seeing what it wants to see? At first, it really seemed like Hollywood's most unexpected scandal was unfolding in real time. But as more details came out, well, let's just say things started falling apart fast. So here's what we know for sure. Multiple sources have confirmed it's not him. In fact, the guy in the clip? Turns out he's just a random businessman who happened to be wearing a similar outfit to one Ben had been seen in recently. Not an actor, not a celebrity, just a guy who got caught up in the internet's wild imagination. Again? Nope. A closer look at the footage showed key differences, from her hair to the way she carried herself. And here's where it gets even funnier. Blake Lively wasn't even in LA when this video was taken. She was spotted on the opposite coast having dinner with Ryan Reynolds and friends in New York. So how did this whole thing spiral out of control? Well, let's talk about where the rumor actually started. It turns out the first person who posted the video never even claimed it was Blake and Ben in the first place. It was just a random clip from a private event, uploaded with zero context. But once the comments started rolling in, wait, is that Blake and Ben? Things took on a life of their own. And let's be real, the internet loves drama. Once gossip pages and tabloids caught wind of it, the story exploded. Suddenly, it wasn't just speculation. It was leaked footage, proof of a secret affair, Hollywood's biggest shocker, all of it based on nothing. But here's the best part. Blake Lively herself responded. And she did it in the most iconic way possible. Instead of a long-winded statement, she simply posted a photo of her and Ryan Reynolds, lounging on a couch, laughing, looking completely unbothered. The caption? "Nice try, internet." And that, my friends, was the final nail in the coffin for this ridiculous rumor. So no, there's no scandal, no cheating, no secret rendezvous. Just another case of the internet taking a tiny clip and running with it. But the real question is, why do we fall for these stories so easily? Why do scandals spread faster than the truth? Well, let's talk about that. So, at the end of the day, what does this all really tell us? This entire scandal, if we can even call it that, was built on nothing but assumptions, quick judgments, and the internet's endless hunger for drama. A blurry clip, a single out-of-context moment, and just a hint of speculation were all it took to send social media into a full-blown frenzy.
After much anticipation, It Ends With Us has finally hit theaters. But the rumor drama surrounding the film has been getting more attention than the movie itself.
Within hours, it wasn't just a rumor, it was being treated like a Hollywood affair. A betrayal, a shocking twist no one saw coming. But here's the thing. How many times have we seen this exact scenario play out? One moment, a random clip surfaces, and before the truth even has a chance to catch up, the internet has already decided what happened. And once that narrative takes off, it's nearly impossible to stop. Because let's be real, celebrity gossip moves at lightning speed. Facts, they take time to verify. But drama? Drama spreads instantly. And in a world where headlines are designed to grab attention rather than tell the full story, it's no surprise that people are more likely to believe a scandal than they are to question it. Think about it. When was the last time a Hollywood affair rumor broke out and people immediately said, "Let's wait for the facts"? Exactly. That almost never happens. Instead, we jump straight to conclusions. We analyze every detail, pick apart body language, and start creating theories before we even stop to ask, is this even real? And once the internet locks in on a story, even when the truth comes out, it doesn't always matter, because at that point, the damage is already done. A viral scandal, even if it's completely false, stays in people's minds far longer than the actual facts. And that's exactly why this won't be the last time something like this happens. Today, it's Blake Lively and Ben Affleck. Tomorrow, it'll be two other celebrities, another vague video, another headline that gets people talking, sharing, and spreading theories. Because as long as scandal sells, the truth will always struggle to catch up. We see a 5-second clip, a blurry photo, or even just a single out-of-context quote, and suddenly, the internet turns into a courtroom, judging, assuming, and deciding who's guilty before we even know the full story. Someone posts a cryptic tweet, a tabloid runs a sensational headline, and before we can even blink, a full-blown scandal is trending worldwide. And let's be real, how often do these stories actually turn out to be true? Rarely. Yet, we eat it up every single time. It's almost like we want to believe it, like there's a thrill in the drama, a rush in thinking we've uncovered some deep Hollywood secret. But why? That's the real question. Why do we love this kind of gossip so much? Why are we so quick to jump to conclusions? to connect dots that might not even exist? Is it because scandal sells? Is it because we love watching flawless celebrities get knocked down a peg? Or is it something deeper? Something about how we consume media, how we trust certain sources without question, and how we sometimes prefer a good story over the boring truth. Think about it. We live in a time where clickbait rules the internet.
They're done, and it's no wonder everyone avoided them like the plague.
TMZ just dropped a bomb on Blake Lively,
where the wildest rumors get more engagement than actual news, and where breaking a story is more important than getting the facts straight. It's no surprise that these things spread like wildfire, because deep down, we want them to. So, was this just another overhyped internet moment? Or does this say something bigger about the way we see Hollywood, celebrities, and the never-ending cycle of drama? Well, I'll let you decide. So, what do you think? Was this just another case of the internet running wild with a rumor, blowing a blurry clip way out of proportion? Or do you think there's something Hollywood isn't telling us? Because let's be honest, celebrities have a way of making things disappear when they need to. And sometimes by the time we get to the truth, the damage is already done. Do you think this was just a misunderstanding that got out of hand? Or is it possible that there was more to this story before the public caught wind of it? Whatever the case, one thing's for sure. Hollywood scandals will never stop coming. And if there's one thing we've learned, it's that social media plays a bigger role than ever in shaping these narratives. A single clip, a cryptic post, or even just a source making claims to a tabloid. And boom, it's the biggest story of the week. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you buying the debunked version of this? Or do you think there's something more to this whole situation? Let's get the conversation going. And hey, if you love keeping up with the biggest celebrity drama, scandals, and jaw-dropping Hollywood twists, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because trust me, there's always more happening behind the scenes, and you're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.